Okay, this is a question from JC GCSE Mathematics Numeracy, Intermediate Tier, could be Foundation as well, Unit 1, non-calculator. And it's obviously about Venn diagrams. Okay, so let's start with this question and show you how I would tackle this. Okay, so it starts off by saying place the whole numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the correct positions in the Venn diagram. So we're going to populate this Venn diagram with those numbers 1 to 10. Let's have a look at the rest of the information. Oh, before I do, let's look at the diagram. So with the one circle represents odd numbers, so that set is odd numbers. The other circle, which is the second set, is multiples of 5, and the final circle or final set are factors of 24. So already I'm building up a mental picture. I'm thinking all the odd numbers need to go in there, all multiples of 5 need to go in there, and factors of 24 need to go in there. Obviously, we've got intersections, overlaps, and I always start with looking at the overlaps first before I populate the rest. So if we go through our numbers, come back down here, so there's our numbers 1 to 10. I'm going to look at which numbers are odd, multiples of 5 and factors of 24. Okay, so I'm going to do it methodically and go through one number at a time. Ask myself, is it odd? If it's yes, then I'm going to ask the question, is it a multiple of 5? If it's yes, I'm going to ask the other question, is it a factor of 24? And if the answer is yes to all three questions, it's going in the middle. And I'm crossing it off. And I'll see what I've got left. Okay, so 1, is it odd? Yes. Is it a multiple of 5? No. So go on to the next one. 2, odd? No. Go on to the next one. 3, is that odd? Yes. Is it a multiple of 5? No. Go on to the next one. Number 4. Is it odd? No. 5. Is it odd? Yes. Is it a multiple of 5? Yes. Is it a factor of 24? Does it divide into 24 without leaving a remainder? No. Go on to the next one. 6. That's not odd. So I go on to the next one. 7. It's odd, but not a multiple of 5. 8. That's not odd. 9 is odd, but not a multiple of 5. 10 is not odd. So actually, there's no numbers in the middle. There's no numbers that are odd, multiples of 5, and factors of 24. So now I'm going to look at numbers that are in this little section here. So numbers that are odd and multiples of 5. Okay. So I know what the odd numbers are. I've got 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So which one's a multiple of 5? 1 isn't, 3 isn't, 5 is, 7 isn't, 9 isn't. So 5 is odd and a multiple of 5, so I can cross it off. Now I'm going to look at this overlap here, odd and factors of 24. So I've underlined the odd numbers already, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Well, I don't need to look at 5 anymore because I've used it. So 1, is that a factor of 24? Yes, it is. It divides into 24 times. 3, is that a factor of 24? Yes, it is. It divides into it 24 8 times. Cross that off, cross that off. 7, that's odd, obviously. Is it a factor of 24? No, it doesn't divide into 24. 9, not a factor of 24. So those are the two numbers that go into that overlap. Now the other overlap we look at is factors of 24 and multiples of 5. So the only multiple of 5 we've got left is 10, because the multiples of 5 are 5, 10, 15, 20 and so on. So I've only got 10 left as a multiple of 5. That's not a factor of 24. So nothing goes in this overlap here. Nothing up here is a multiple of 5 and a factor of 24. Okay, now I can start filling in the larger sections that are just odd numbers, just multiples of 5, or just factors of 24. So what odd numbers have I got left? I've got 7 and 9, so they need to go in there because they are odd numbers. Multiples of 5, there's only one multiple of 5, cross that out, sorry, and that now, that's left. So all I've got left is 2, 4, 6 and 8. So 2, is that a factor of 24? Yes, divides into 24. 4, does that go into 24? Yes, 6 times. Cross it off, cross it off. 6 goes into 24, yeah, 4 times. Cross it off. and 8 goes into 24 3 times. Cross it off. So now I've put all my numbers into that Venn diagram correctly. And I just double check that is a multiple of 5, but it's not a factor of 24, and it's not an odd number, so that's why it's got to be on its own. 5 is a multiple of 5 and it's odd, so that's why it's in that overlap. 7 is odd, but it's not a multiple of 5 or a factor of 24. 9 is odd, but not a multiple of 5 or a factor of 24, so it's in the correct place. 1 is odd, but is a factor of 24. 3 is odd, but is a factor of 24, so it's in the overlap. And 2, 4, 6 and 8 are all factors of 24, but none of them are odd and none of them are multiples of 5, so they're in the right place there. Oops. Okay, and that's how you populate that Venn diagram. Well, the second part of this question then says, find the probability that the number selected is an odd number that's a factor of 24, not a multiple of 5 and not a factor of 24. Well, let's look at the first one then, odd number. So the probability of picking an odd number from the whole universal set is, how many odd numbers have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 odd numbers. Out of 10 numbers. So the probability is 5/10. And you could simplify it, but you don't get any extra marks for doing this. But of course, let's remind ourselves that's actually a half. But 5 over 10 will get you the mark. There's 1 mark each for this. An odd number that is a factor of 24. Let's have a look. An odd number that's a factor of 24. So we're looking at the overlap of odd numbers and 24. We have 2 numbers in there that are odd and factors of 24. So we have 2 numbers out of 10. Written as 2/10. Do not write 2 out of 10. You won't get the mark. Almost all probabilities are written as fractions. Sometimes they're decimals, sometimes percentages. Usually fractions. The last one, not a multiple of 5 and not a factor of 24. So not a multiple of 5, not a factor of 24. So they can't be in this circle at all, because it's not a multiple of 5, and it can't be in this circle at all, not a multiple of 24. So the 2 numbers that are not anywhere inside these 2 circles is 7 and 9. So it's again, that's 2 numbers out of 10. Now I didn't simplify that one because I told you didn't need to. Let's remind ourselves, if we did, that's a fifth, because divide by 2, and the same of course would apply to that. You do not get extra marks for simplifying these fractions because they don't ask you to. So don't waste your time in the exam doing that. If they ask you to simplify, then you need to do it because there'll be a mark attached to it. Okay? And remember, probabilities are usually fractions. The number on the top, the numerator, is how many times you can see what they're asking for, and the bottom number, the denominator, is the total number of possibilities. In this case, there were 10 numbers to choose from, and there were 5 numbers out of those 10 that were odd. Okay, and that's that question all done. Thank you very much.